When it comes to playing with cards for Magic the Gathering, Pokémon, and other TCGs, the surface that you make your battlefield is critical for keeping the sleeves you protect your cardboard with shiny and clean, as well as establishing the boundaries for your play space. That is why playmats are such a necessity. And in today's video, we'll compare and contrast some bold, innovative new designs. From the two-player cloth mat by Imperium Duelist, to GameGenic's Prime and XP playmats, the Windward foldable and magnetic playmat, as well as Dragon Shield's new Nomad portfolio playmat. But with so many choices, some are better than others, sometimes by a lot. Let's take a look. Imperium Duelist offers a wide selection of two-player cloth mats that, while not specifically designed for Magic the Gathering or Pokémon TCG players, are sized appropriately and are worth examining. Sized double for a two-player play space, the Imperium Duelist mats can of course be folded in half to become a single-player size. The edges are resistant to fraying with a tough nylon and cloth material that is machine wash safe. Cloth playmats are often folded instead of rolled, but either way the edges seldom lay completely flat on the surface. This is one discomfort I had when playing with these, the other being that the cloth mats slide around on the table much more so than a rubber-backed neoprene cloth mat. This mat on display here is the Secret X Legend featuring the 6 Samurai and will cost you $49.99 plus shipping. It's a very good quality mat that is made to last a very long time. I am not personally a fan of the artworks available, but that is purely aesthetic, and you in contrast may love it. What is less than aesthetic are the wrinkles and curvature of the mat that never fully gets ironed out, but all in all this is a quality if not costly mat, and I'll give it a solid B. GameGenic, new to the scene with some solid deck boxes, is also trying to become a playmat juggernaut with the extra fancy and extra thick XP playmat. The XP playmats are indeed thick at 3 millimeters and have a stitched border to prevent fraying of edges. Really nice surface feel on the cloth front, and of course a secure rubber back, which I'll be honest is my preferred formula for playmats. As with all stitched edge mats, the critical question is whether when you slide your cards on and off, they're going to catch on the border. We've seen in some previous videos that there are stitched edge mats where that is a major issue. But I'm happy to say that the XP mats do not have this problem. Well, they don't catch on the edges, but GameGenic apparently vainly applied this little tag that is stitched on, and unfortunately cards catch on it. Now this is a tiny little tag on the overall playmat, and the chances are you'll never need to slide your cards off exactly there. But I am just not a fan of the protrusion at all, and I wish they'd just printed their logo on the mat, or better yet, not advertised themselves on a product you've already bought, and just given the customer some artwork options perhaps. Either way, this is not a major issue, but doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. What is a major issue though is that these mats just don't seem to lay flat. And what's funny is the XP box literally says on it, on the front, mats rest flat straight away. Well, this mat here was not flat when I took it out of the box straight away. It was significantly more warped, and what you're looking at here is the result of a couple of days under some really heavy books. So maybe it's a little too thick. I don't know. Luckily, GameGenic offers classic, basic neoprene and cloth mats, and yes, these do lie flat and have all the classic qualities as brands such as Ultra Pro, Dragon Shield, and inked mats. Cloth top, rubber back, machine washable. Why improve on perfection? This is what you need a playmat to be and do. Although unfortunately, it could have been or done without the metallic logo affixed upon it. Just print it on the cloth. Look at this. Now I can't recommend these over the competition because, well, look at it. GameGenic wowed me with some of the most spectacular deck boxes on the market, but in terms of playmats, there is still much to be desired. Instead of reinventing the wheel, I think I'd like to see them get the wheel correct first, and then work from there. I debated the grades here, maybe giving the XP a C, but it's not satisfactory. Both of these are a D. Do not recommend. But speaking of reinventing the wheel, here's a homegrown design design that really takes clever to the next level: the Windward magnetic playmat. Windward mats are a series of metal plates wrapped in a leather-like material and foldable into a slim, lightweight, compact design. The mats are double-sided with that smooth faux leather I described, and the reverse being a kind of suede or cloth-like texture. You can play on either side. I preferred the smoother faux leather greatly. But this isn't just about a collapsible play space. I mean, you can always roll up a playmat, right? But rather the options that you have to play on outdoor seating when the wind picks up. Because if your playmat is metal, as this one is, then why not apply magnets? Windward playmats comes with a large supply of these small yet strong magnets. And while no one truly knows how magnets work, they're able to hold your cards in place on the playmat and protect against reasonable outdoor winds and breezes. Now, due to the construction of the Windward, there's very visible creases and folds in the exterior material. Fortunately, these are just purely aesthetic, and I never found them to be bulbous or discomforting enough for cards to catch on. So playing on the mat, it wasn't an issue. It's just something that you have to look at. And yeah, I mean, you know, they're creases. You can see the metal plates, actually. So I'm not a fan that they're there, but that's probably how it has to be given the mat's design. If nothing else, I do need to give the Windward credit. This is darn innovative, very clever, and what's more is not only do those magnets hold your cards in place, but the Windward itself, being made out of, well, metal, holds itself in place, lies perfectly flat, and the wind is not going to pick this up and carry it away. There's even more that I haven't shown you. I talked about it comes with all of these little magnet holds. And of course, the main component is the Windward, so I could see people looking into different sized ones, stronger magnets and such to meet their needs, customizable in that sense. But you can also take your deck, and worried about your deck blowing away. Well, it comes with these little cloth straps. That's right, it comes with them. That's nice. And you can just do this, and now your deck is held on. Now, if you do it just like this, that's likely going to hold it from the wind, unless you're in a real big storm. What I like is that if you do it like this, you can still pull a card off. And I suppose if you really wanted to, you can put a second strap over it this way. Decks are pretty heavy. Could I put enough magnets on this? Probably not. That I could turn this upside down and hold a deck? That I doubt. This is things I think of while filming. Let's just dump my cards everywhere is what I think. All right. Let's see. Is it holding? I can't even, oh, nope. Well, maybe not perfect, but I still do rather like this. So I guess in the end, the real question is, do you need a Windward? Are you in the market for such innovation? As someone who doesn't really seek to play Magic the Gathering outside much, I don't know that I personally am after one of these or would need to own one. But if you are someone who maybe is frequently having lunches at an outdoor seating area, I don't know about going up in hikes in the mountains, but definitely outdoor seating area, get a wind picking up, I could definitely see this being something that you might want to pick up, even though I myself might not really have a need for it. That's what happens when you get such a specific thesis on a product, is that it's going to be good in its own right, but not necessarily necessary. While I might not personally be in the market for a Windward, for those looking for what this offers, I would say that it offers it with great quality. Obviously, cost is a bit high, and I think that there might be some long-term concerns about durability, namely the exterior material holding up with heavy use. But nonetheless, I think this is an innovation that delivers properly on its promises and is a very strong B+. Dragon Shield, maker of excellent classic neoprene and cloth playmats, as well as the best card sleeves and portfolios on the market, has tried to innovate by mutating binders with playmats, or perhaps playmats with binders, to bring us the Nomad. A kind of portfolio playmat, the Nomad has sleeved rows meant to hold your cards in place when playing outdoors, or perhaps just when hopping from table to table. So I guess this is much the same, or at least similar goal as the Windward, only here without the mystical magnetic forces. Cards are held in place, but not so tightly that they cannot be manipulated, such as tapped or even repositioned from row to row. The pockets are fairly loose, and I would not trust this in a strong wind, or even in no wind and just playing a gamble with gravity, as I will show you in a moment. But the bigger issue I have here is that when I tried to get some real games of Magic, it was hard to get them to work on this. Each of the 6 pockets can only hold 3 cards each, and that's if you don't want to tap them over each other. In reality, if you do want to tap them without them crossing over one another, which I think is reasonable, then each pocket only holds 2 cards. So depending on how you crunch it, that's 12 to 18 cards, plus I suppose that side pocket, which can maybe hold 3 more. I also don't like the forced positions of the Nomad. While the Windward let me just place my cards anywhere as I might on a regular playmat and apply a magnet, the Nomad forces me to choose from locked positions, which is not always going to work great during a game of Magic. It doesn't accommodate enough cards, and it's too rigid in where those cards can go. The interior, to me, is reminiscent of the quality and construction style of card portfolios, with the pockets affixed and hopefully never tearing or getting stretched out, because there would be no fixing that. Exterior is a thick polyurethane wrap, very nice feel, very sturdy. An elastic band helps offer further security, though I would never pick up my cards on the go for any long distances. Don't throw this in your trunk is what I'm saying. Instead, I'd maybe only fold it up to move a game if I were hopping tables, or again, playing outdoors in a small breeze. And also, unlike the Windward, you cannot hold your deck down in the way that the Windward had that strap. So your deck's always going to be somewhere that if there's a wind that's blowing strong enough that you need these sleeves, well, what about your deck? I guess you put a weight on top of it or something like that. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Here's another issue. You've got your cards in the pockets. Well, I did this a little bit. I don't know if I'll include it in the final edit, but definitely want to include this if you carry it around and such. What I found in my testing and using this is that I never had them slide out. No, it doesn't slide out. That's good. That would be a problem. But they do change position a little bit. The older I get with my decks, I don't care that much about standard because it's probably just going to get banned by Monday anyway. But with my modern or legacy deck, I get a little nervous about the cards shifting around as I fold this up. And as you can see, one of them even fell out. Oh, well, I held it upside down there. Sorry, that's not demonstrative. But what is demonstrative is that it holds them in place mostly. I'm nervous about opening it and then shutting it. Notice my island there is on the crease. I think it's good quality, but given its own thesis, unlike the Windward, I'm not so sure that this accomplishes it. So this does have a lot to like, but it also has a long way to go. You can still make this work for a game of Magic, and it's a clever enough design, but I'm not entirely bowled over by it, especially given its limitations. Overall, I suppose this is a B. If this is what you're looking for, then yes, it's well made, but I am going to offer some overall concerns for its functionality. At the end of the day, many Magic the Gathering professors ask the question, are playmats really the accessory area where innovation is needed? I have seen many attempts, of innovative new playmats over the years, and I feel I am perhaps a playmat Luddite, but cloth front, rubber neoprene back, there you go. Lays flat, And your biggest issues are that over time, often a lot of time, you get wearing out of the rubber. Usually when you wash it too much, too long, it can get a little cracked and falling off. Edges fray. You get so much use out of these things. They're often so affordable. $9.95, $14.95, $19.95. Lasts forever. Maybe you get some frayed edges. That's why some companies like Ultra Pro Inked, this is Ultimate Guard here, have started offering the stitched edges with the kind where your cards don't catch. Ultra Pro, you get magic artwork, don't want magic artwork or can't have it. You got Dragon Shield, does really nice playmats. It's got those lovely stitched edges, vibrant colors. Inked, I like Inked. Inked's who I use for, if you want a Tolarian Community College playmat over at the student store, what have you. All of those companies offer it, and I kind of feel that's the way to go. But if you are looking for something more clever, perhaps one of these playmats from today appeals to you. Whether or not that is true, I hope very much this video has been of some help, and you can help me out greatly by remembering to like, share, subscribe, or just by leaving a comment. What do you really look for in a playmat? Do you want innovation? And if so, because probably a lot of companies reading the comments here, what have you always wished a playmat could do? Does it need to do these things, or are we just sticking a clock in existing perfection? A cloth top, neoprene back, stitch the sides to prevent fraying as long as the cards don't catch. Try and make it so they last even longer. And they already, all the major companies that offer these, they last a good amount of time. The biggest issue is Ultra Pro is the monopoly on magic artwork. But you know what? Ultimate Guard, very pretty. Where'd Dragon Shield go? Oh, I put it down. Dragon Shield, very pretty. You can see my previous reviews here. Support your local game store.
Yeah, they're almost killed limited, right? Because it's not good for the viewers.
Yep.
So this is something that, like, yeah, I agree. Limited is not good for the viewers. But at what point are you willing to sacrifice like everything else to get an extra 1,000 viewers? Right? Because it's not like you're going from 5,000 viewers to 1 million viewers. You're not becoming League of Legends. This is not Magic Strength, right? You're going from 5,000 viewers to 6,000, maybe 7,000, right? And is it worth it? To me, it's not. I think you should try to make the tournaments as best as they can be for people who want to play in them, right? And not necessarily just for the people who are watching. So I think, and for example, the invites, right? They had the discretionary invites and stuff like that. And then they just invited a bunch of players who are not from Magic, right? They invited, say, Savitz, right? And don't get me wrong, I like Savitz a lot. I talked to him during the tournament. He's actually a really nice person, but I don't think he should be put in the MPL. Right? And then you have all these people who are just trying their hardest and just want to be in the system, and there's no room for them because you're bringing someone from a different game just to get more viewers. Right? And I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would, you know, and now that everyone is mad about it, right? And rightfully so, because if you've been trying for 5 years and you feel like you finally got there, and you know, oh, there's finally a spot on this thing. Oh wait, it's this streamer from a different game that's gonna get it. I think that feels really bad.
Yeah.
Right? And so that would, I think, is the biggest weakness, is focusing too much on viewership and not enough on Magic Strength, which is that people love playing it and they want to be part of the system.